Recovery is a process. It's not an event. It is not something that you snap your fingers and it happens. It's not something you can give a pill for and it takes care of it for life. Recovery is a very complex process that involves a total change of attitude, of behaviors, of environment, and it requires that people become knowledgeable about what constitutes, first of all, the addiction, and then secondly, what it takes to change that behavior that causes them to be addicted.
You know, I don't trust myself. And I know today, there's no one hit, there's no one line, there's no occasional, there's no such thing with meth. And it's the devil in a bag. It gets a hold of you and there's no turning back. And I don't trust myself. Not that I don't trust myself, I know the power of that stuff.
I say treatment works if you work it. What you put into treatment is what you're going to get out of treatment.
Recovery is not quitting drugs. It's developing a new way of life. That's what keeps people clean. Anybody can quit for a week, 2 weeks, a month. Staying clean is recovery, and that's a whole new way of life for people.
I say treatment works, but I say that treatment is more than 28 days, 60 days. It's more than being in a residential center. Treatment is lifestyle. The real work starts when someone walks out the door of a treatment center, and it is about changing everything. What you believe, what your attitudes are, who you spend time with, where you spend time, everything.
I often say this to my clients: I don't cure anybody. I just give them tools. And my goal is to give them tools, and hopefully they're going to leave my office and use those tools. Some of those tools would be NA, AA meetings, follow up with a physician, go to maybe a residential treatment center if I recommend it. But it's their responsibility to follow up with those tools.
One of the things that we do have to do is really understand that the first person that you can care about is yourself. And that very often when you have a loved one that needs help, you may not be able to drag them in by the hair on their head. Certainly begging them and pleading with them, you know, most people have already tried that and see that just doesn't work. So what can you do? You can get help for yourself. And it really is a parallel process, but oddly enough, when family members really do that, and they start to create, you know, what we could call healthy boundaries. You know, I love you, I really care about you. When you're ready for help, you know, please, you know, you can always call. But until then, please don't. You know, and I won't bail you out of jail. I'm not going to give you any more money for anything. You know, if you need a meal, I'm glad to fix one for you, or I'm glad to meet you at a restaurant. You know, yeah, you know, if you know, just in a small way, just to say, I'm going to stay in relationship with you, and I'm going to care about you, but I'm going to have some very specific boundaries.
The tough love thing that my mom gave me, she pretty much disowned me. And it took me a few years to finally appreciate it. But that's what it was. And the fact that, you know, not only do I love me, but my mom, my parents love me too, and my family loves me too, now that I'm clean. But the tough love thing, I guess, is probably the only way to go. I mean, you can try to send them to treatment, and you can talk to them, and you can have them arrested, you can take their kids away, and then you'll raise their kids, and they'll be on dope forever, you know. I think the tough love thing, the thing is, I want to help you, but until you can help yourself, I'm not going to help you. And it's hard. I know it's hard. But I think that's the only thing that almost worked for me. I mean, that was, as far as the parents go and the loved ones, that was the only thing that worked for me. You know, my mom gave me money, paid my rent, did this, did that, did this, did that.
Allowed you to use more.
Yeah, enabled me. And that didn't help me.
You know, that's one thing I could say about Fran was she did what was right for her and the kids. You know, I thought she did me wrong because, you know, I was lost in that little world, and I just thought she was just, you know, she was doing what was best for her and the kids. My kids didn't need to see that, you know, they didn't need to see me like that. And, you know, I thank her now. Then I didn't. I hated her a lot, you know. I felt like she was just making me go further down that road, you know, and I was taking and using her as an excuse to get high every day, and, you know, and she was doing what was best for her and the kids, and I respect that, you know. I mean, now that I'm clean and sober, I don't know how many times I thanked her for that, you know.
I don't know, I think one of the things that helped me the most was my parents dropped me on my butt and said, no more, we will not help you. And that has, when they turned their back completely, and I kind of experienced that this year with a loved one of mine, you know, that how hard it is to let go and to turn your back and say, no more, you know, and not have any contact with them and not have anything to do with them. Oh, it's heart-wrenching, it's hard to do, but it's the best thing they could have done for me. And it's beginning to be the relationship that I wanted to have with them all of my life, you know. It's awesome.
I got to a point where I thought that all I could do was go home. That if I got home, back to Iowa, that everything would be all right. A friend of mine gave me a bus ticket. I turned in my car to the repo guy. I had 2 bags of clothing. That's all I had left in the world. And I got on a bus and drove across country to my hometown in Iowa. And my son's mom picked me up, took me to the house, to the apartment, and my son was at a dance, at a school dance, some freshman mixer, and when he got done with it, she went and picked him up and told him that I was there, and he wouldn't see me. He refused to see me. And so he went to his grandmother's house, and she came back and told me that, and then the next day I called my father. My father wouldn't have anything to do with me. Said, I can't do anything more for you. You're done. And she looked me in the eye and she said that, she said, I'll give you the money for the bus ticket back to New Mexico, but you have to promise you'll never contact us again. And I you know what? I love that woman, my son's mother, Deborah, for telling me that I don't go away and don't contact me, protecting her son. I respect that. And I've told her that now, that she and I are talking regularly again, and you know, and I told her that she apologized on the phone last week, in the last week and a half or so. She apologized and she said, I'm sorry I turned you away and made you leave. And I said, good God, don't ever say that. Don't ever think that. You saved my life. You saved my life. Thank you so much. Save somebody's life by telling them no.
And if the person is really tired at that place, you know what I'm saying? He'll change. He'll change, you know, and it's going to be a process. Like I said, that meth ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. It's destroying families, and then it's a respected person. Now it's not just in the South Side. It's everywhere.